Okay, so now we're at the point where you've written like the assessment of the century. It's fantastic. It's interactive. It's got all sorts of media. It provides response validation and all sorts of different types of good feedback that are timely and descriptive. Now we've got our data, and what can we do with it? Where can we look at it? That's what this video is about. So first of all, we're going to click on responses. You can see I have 5 responses, and I've answered all of them myself. It's a confession. But the summary of responses allows me to scroll through and get a distribution overall. What were the point totals like? Who took this? What did they get? Did anyone not take it yet or not finish it? I can send an email reminder. Another option is to look at each question, and you get these big picture pie charts of how they did on each question. So if you have a large number of students, you can see which questions they did well at and which questions they need help with. So that's one place to go. You can also, and I don't like the questions tab, so I'm not going to talk about it. It's a little too cumbersome. You can also go individual by individual. And so, for instance, here's student number 3 or student number 4. If you were conferencing with a kid, you could open this part up and just scroll through it and talk about each question individually and look at their responses. It's kind of like having them bring up their paper. The other place to go is to push this data to sheets. Now, it doesn't automatically create the sheets, so you would go through that process. You would click on this button and say open in a new spreadsheet. And when you do that, it ends up looking like this. So this is the big wide view, all the responses all together one place. And this is where I would go if I wanted to sort student responses so that I could pull a small group of kids and work with them before sending them back and grabbing another group of kids to help them too. So the easy step here is that I have this little drop-down menu that occurs on each column, and I can sort. And I want you to use that as much as you can. So originally it's sorted by time. Let's say I want to find out who missed this question. I can sort A to Z, and I can then pull those kids aside and help them out. I've also got all the document files that they uploaded linked right here. So I could click on any of these and it would open up that file. So I could still access everything. It just dumped into a sheet. Something else I can do that's a little bit more advanced is that instead of the sorting A to Z, I could also use a conditional formatting. And this is very much like response validation. So first of all, I'm going to pick the range that I want to apply it to. So this is G2 through G6. Now in G2 and through G6, I am looking for number that is not equal to 6. So in other words, these would be the kids that missed it. And color's fine. Done. So I've established a conditional formatting rule, and in this column, anyone that did not get 6 highlights in green. So if you don't want to constantly shuffle A to Z, this is another way to find out who did what, who said what, in terms of a response. If you put in percentages, this could also then break down a range of, okay, these kids struggled on this assessment, and so from this number down, we're going to highlight that so I can make sure that I conference with those kids to help them. And with that, that's a pretty simple overview, but that is how you can use Google Sheets and then also the responses views in Google Forms to better understand what your student results look like.